Welcome home, brave heroes. I'm Ash, this is AshQuest, and for this episode, I think you'll have to be truly brave, for there are going to be a multitude of monsters in this particular edition of AshQuest. A lot of different goblins, a lot of different creatures. But I don't want to slay these creatures. We're not here to crush them. We are here to admire their beauty. We are going to be visiting today TwinGoddess miniatures, tabletop figures, on My Mini Factory. My Mini Factory is a platform on which 3D model enthusiasts and creators can converge. Sculptors can create models and provide their customers subscription tiers, as well as outright sell their STL files. And customers can add these files to their ever-growing library, where they will forever have access to be able to re-download in order to reprint whatever it is they have got the rights to. Today we are looking at TwinGoddess because I am a subscriber to TwinGoddess. I pay money every month to get access to their latest releases, their monthly Goblin, and I figure if you didn't know this about me by now, what better time to reveal I'm actually a huge fan of the Goblin. I'll be pointing out some of my favorites in this video, but on that note, let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to be shilling a very particular sculptor today. This is Adam, who creates 3D printable miniatures in the form of goblins, but other fun characters. There's a very distinct style here going on. We're going to go explore the offerings that are currently available, and then I'll show you a lot of the sculpts that I have been able to acquire. Now, if you've only got $1 USD to spare every month, you can get access to the Goblin tier. You'll get one Goblin a month for $1. You'll get access to each month's Goblin Mini before anyone else, and you'll get to see work in progress and community posts. Here's an example of the monthly Goblin. This is the squirrel launcher. She is amazing. That woodland creature is not going into the night unwillingly. They are strapped with a helmet. They are ready for action. Whatever they're going to land on is going to get a face full of fury, paws, and bushy anger. This one may look a little contemporary for some of you though, and I understand. The acorn motif and the goggles, I just noticed that. That's brilliant. Let's backtrack. Actually, let's sidestep to the hero tier. Now, this is actually January's release. If you are subscribed to TwinGoddess miniatures, if you subscribe, as of the time of this video, I don't think you'll have access to this particular month of miniatures. I believe every new month that occurs, you have access to the new month of miniatures, and the previous months kind of dump out, and you're simply rewarded for staying in the tier. But these are January's, the squirrel launcher goblin, this amazing chibi wizard. All of these characters have names in the TwinGoddess universe. None of them are without a name, but I don't have access to the names right now, and I can't be bothered to remember what they are. All I can tell you is that they are working on characters that look deceptively very much like the main characters from Baldur's Gate 3, and so we have what could very well possibly be a Minthara proxy, as well as a Lae'zel proxy. And yes, Astarion and Gale have already had their proxies as well. In past months. We've got this lovely sorceress lady, as well as this fish man who looks very much to be based on perhaps Abe from Hellboy. All of this for $9, and sometimes you'll get more sculpts than this. Oh, there they are. Tavel, the Gith warrior, Mindy, the drow paladin, squirrel launcher goblin, who couldn't get a name. I thought she had a name. Forbidden spell wizard, Victoria the sorceress, and psionic Sahagin, plus 2 variants. And we can get a better look at these January miniatures. Here is our Githyanki, as well as our drow. Elf sculpts being what they are, it doesn't have to be a drow. You could definitely paint it to be a high elf, or paint it to be a blood elf, you know. The lovely sorceress, and our fishman. Fishman with spear, trident. Fishman with pants. TwinGoddess gives us these colored prototypes as suggestions as to what your final model will look like once you have acquired it and have printed it out and painted it, which is definitely the case for me. I have a ton of these printed out in the 75mm versions, and I want to do a painting stream. I may have already done a painting stream, actually, by the time you see this video. But here's one of February's releases, the lovely tiefling barbarian, who may or may not be based on Karlach from Baldur's Gate 3. This is a gorgeous sculpt. A sort of Cupid goblin for the month of February, one that has a couple of variants, including this one, which is hoisted up. And I believe this is actually going to come with the sculpt of the scaffolding here, and rope and hook. Jenny of the Shadowed Heart Clerics. She looks great. She looks great. I happen to actually really like Shadowheart, so I'm a big fan of this one. And also for February upcoming, Amora, the tiefling bard. She is a real sweetheart. I love the sculpt. February is shaping up to be a great month for TwinGoddess subscribers. And Janan, the orc warrior. She looks pretty awesome. She looks pretty badass. He gave us a couple of different variants on colors just to play around with the color palette. But yeah, she looks amazing. That's February. I actually love this tiefling, love poet, as he calls her, probably more than any of the other sculpts in this month's releases, but I'm going to print them all, so. And indeed, I have printed several, and I'm going to be showing them to you very shortly. Before that, I wanted to remind everybody, if you like this kind of content, fantasy, gaming, dungeon crawler, topics that are adjacent to these, solo plays right here on the channel, unboxings, Kickstarter spotlights, and the like, please consider subscribing. And if you're already a subscriber and you're enjoying the content, you can really help out the channel a lot just by liking the videos and watching more of them. If you're planning on printing a ton of these miniatures or acquiring a ton of them, especially if you are serious about following my upcoming GoboQuest series, which only uses TwinGoddess miniatures, but more on that in the future, well, it may be much more practical to acquire a 3D printer, and if you already have one, that is definitely the better option. Just buy the file one time, it gets added to your library, print it as many times as you like. Now, this isn't all you get. If you join, you get the Welcome Box 2.0. It comes with a ton of minis. So the first time you subscribe, even if you're only going to subscribe for a month, you'll get all of these fantastic looking minis. I wish I could zoom in. Hold on. Well, I'll read you the list, and then I'll actually show you the sculpts in my library, but I have more sculpts than just this, so they might be kind of intermixed. But anyway, you get Blix, the Goblin Fighter, the Cyberpunk Kobold, the Fox Girl Bandit, the Goblin Witch, Brentalius, the Muscle Wizard, the Wood Elf Queen, Maya, the Halfling Bard, Dahlia, the Tiefling Forge Cleric, Angie, the Mercenary Goblin, here she is, the Behydra, Mortimer, the Sphinx, over here, and everything else you see here. But let's go ahead and jump into my library. We can get much better pictures of all of these guys and more. The level 1 Goblin, you get this sort of release monthly. You get the $1 monthly Goblin at the $1 subscription tier. But if you do the $1 tier, you'll get this Goblin for $1. I just said that twice, 2 different ways. Now, this level 1 Goblin, as it is titled, was originally a monthly Goblin tier release. So anybody who was in this tier when this Goblin was released got it for that month for the $1, and that was it. It is now in your library. But after that month, these Goblins get moved over to a different purchase method, and now you can only get this if you pay the $4 USD. So significant markup there if you're not part of the subscribed crew. But yeah, I love the level 1 Goblin. I definitely like printing these guys out bigger than the 32mm versions. This is the Boss Goblin, part of the October 2023 release. Next up, the Mushroom Goblin, part of the November 2023 release. And there are a lot of variants that you'll get with some of these models as well. This one has got the 2 little cute mushroom familiars carrying the musket. And you'll notice that there's nothing hanging off the Goblin's shoulder here, but there's a variant where the mushroom guys are gone and she's got the musket over one shoulder. Sylphie, the Love Potion Maker. She's lovely. Absolutely beautiful model. Mortimer, the Sphinx, who was a must-have for my lovely wife, Shar. Absolutely had to have this noble cat. What is his story? Is he a vampire? Is he just a nobleman? Can be whoever you want it to be. The Behydra is $10 now, but again, this Behydra is part of the welcome pack, so if you spend the $9 of US dosh to join the tribe, you will get the Behydra as part of a special package of welcome box characters. You're already getting a discount. Instead of paying the $10 for the Behydra, pay the $9 and get your Behydra in the welcome box. Jerry Witchman, the bar regular. Doesn't he look a bit Geraltish? Maybe just a little bit. Maybe a tiny bit. Geralt? I don't watch The Witcher. You'll get fun, goofy monsters like this guy too, the Plasmoid Captain. Look at him. At arms, men. At ease? At something. At ooze. At ooze, men. This is Bonnie Corkstealer, the Goblin Space Pirate, and she's adorable. Love this one. This is Ankh, the Orc Forge Cleric. Look at those back muscles. Gary the Skeleton. Mary the Skeleton. Pint the Goblin. All of the parts are pre-supported, by the way, so you can simply download the file and just print. There's no need to add supports. Just slice the file, get it onto your printer, and print away. This is Giftin. She's also part of another group of miniatures, so if you missed this one and you want the most value for your money, you can look into buying these groups of miniatures that are sold by TwinGoddess. This mini was part of the Bardic Beatdown Battle of the Bands release. I think that that's a release you can still get. We'll check here in a minute. Giftin. TwinGoddess will also take licensed goblins. TwinGoddess will also take characters that artists have created and license them to be able to print them. This is Angie, the mercenary goblin. Angie is actually an original character goblin that was created by, I want to say, a Twitter artist. But you can look up art of Angie. There's lots of it. Dahlia, the tiefling forge cleric. We're getting a closer look at this tiefling cleric. She looks really cool. I love her little hoofed feet, her cloven toesies. This is Maya, the halfling bard. Adorable. I would absolutely paint freckles on that tiny face. The wood elf queen, regal, majestic, a sight to behold. There are also community posts here showing off some of the paint jobs that people have done for these miniatures. This is a lovely paint job done by Johnny Potato. Really beautiful. I love how they did the lips and the eyes. Yes. And that cape. Look at the multicolors in the cape. Awesome. This is just Goblin Witch, original concept by SZ Draws, part of the May 2023 release. This is Umirani, the Cursed Arm Necromancer. Quite lovely in her own right. I had to see this paint job in better detail. Somebody put her on a base with tombstones. I don't think the tombstones came on the base originally, but it looks great. It looks really, really good. Perfect choices for color. Okay, so speeding it up just a bit, this is the Tavern Maid Orc. She looks great. I would absolutely put this orc unironically in my HeroQuest game, serving up pints of ale, just angry, crushing the table with one muscular leg. Bit of a color suggestion here for how you could do her up. I told you that Astarion was here. This is Ashton, the vampire aristocrat, in all his snooty, dangerous glory. And here are some color suggestions. The Necro Knight Goblin is one of my favorites on here, one of the goblins that was present during my month of subscription for the first time. Really one of the ones that sold me on this. If you're more of a Gale fan, this is Dale, the Nether Wizard. And he comes on basically in two different prints here. You've got to do one print for the body, and then you've got to do a separate print for the base, which is enormous. And then you can put the two together, preferably after you've painted them. Now, I'm a big fan of the concept of the Jiangshi or the Qianqi, the Chinese hopping vampire, and this creator actually put a goblin in Qianqi clothes, which I'm just in love with this concept. She's adorable. This one is actually free. You can download this particular model for free and paint it up and see if this aesthetic is to your liking. I've got to look at some of the paint jobs for this one. People have gotten really creative with the bases. They've made some really good choices. Oh, that one's awesome. That one is awesome. Love that. Love that. So going to TwinGoddess's store, there's 378 items in the store. If we click free objects, you can get a taste of all of their free stuff. You can get any of this stuff, including the absolutely necessary orb pondering wizard. This is a must-have for anybody with a 3D printer who likes fantasy. There's no legitimate or good reason not to have this. It's free. It's right here. Amazing. Just excellently done. Expertly done. This is Gaz, the Goblin Bard, and I love them. Fan art of Queasy Spaceship's Goblin Bard. Color suggestion here. Successful paint job here. Love it. Love that expression. Very illumination. This is Fleya, the Lilithid Mind Seducer. And if that's what the Illithids looked like, I don't think I'd be very safe in the world of Baldur's Gate 3. I would probably be just going to the ship. Take me. Put the worm here. Regina, the Goblin Queen, designed by Huffslove. Another licensed gobbo. The Flork of Cows sock guy. They're currently unsupported, but I mean, you're probably really not going to need a lot of supports. Designed and commissioned by Flork of Cows. This is a brilliant NPC unit, Sir Barrington the Knight. No context, just put a bear on the board. Perhaps you can use this in place of the druid form for HeroQuest. Yeah, kind of looks like it could be used in place of the orc bard. Actually, you've got the rapier here, as well as a sort of bardic friendly hat. Yeah, It occurs to me I don't have the appropriate camera set up right now to be able to show you the TwinGoddess miniatures that I currently have printed off, and I don't know that I want to show off the 32mm, so I think I'll just go ahead and either point you to my painting live stream, which I felt up to it. I've already done Wednesday, and that's when I'm doing the TwinGoddess miniatures if I thought to prime them in time. And if not, I'll do another video where I show off all the ones that I've printed off so far. But there are just a host of awesome models here. This is Eskarn the Knoll Bandit, and he is dressed to the nines. Got a pack of dynamite on his side. I think that's dynamite. Might be rounds. I think he's got dynamite. And packs such as the Fantasy Western pack. Doubtless this was part of a $9 monthly release. After the fact, it's $25. Not saying it's not worth it though. There are a lot of really great sculpts here for your fantasy Western themed game, and some sculpts that you could probably reuse in other areas without it having to be fantasy Western. This guy off to the side here, definitely some kind of mercenary, witch hunter. This goblin, I'll use goblins in any context. These goblins are the most cutest of all. I'll use them all. They're all going to come into GoboQuest. This is Jam, the slime fighter, and she is figure scale. She's 128, only $6. You've got to put the work into printing her, but other than that, didn't want to leave without finding one more bundle. This is the VIP bundle called the Bardic Beatdown. It is $40 USD, but comes with all you see here. And those of you who are spry-eyed will see a David Bowie version of an elf, complete with accurate pants, as well as a cutout of stage goers and an entire stage, as well as fencing with possible merch, so you can recreate your own concerts and take awesome photographs. The $25 Fantasy College Pack 1, which comes with our Orc Jock Coach. Orc Coach, he's got a whistle. Goblin Skateboarder, adorable. Alternative version. Our Slime Nerd, Poindexter. Tiefling, who is a student who really needs coffee. Now she's in her shorts. A nerdy gnome, I believe. I'm looking for the ears. I don't see big floppy ears, so therefore not a goblin. Elf, skateboarder, punk. Ah, yes, the model student. Professor Mind Devourer. She's just literally a brain. Oh, she's lovely. Wheelchair, mermaid, smartly dressed, draconic lit teacher. Yeah, some great choices here. There are others. There's the Goblin Holiday Pack. There are other groups, other singles, lots of free stuff. Please check out TwinGoddess Miniatures. And if TwinGoddess Miniatures happens to be watching, thank you so much for making awesome content. I'm really looking February forward to, wow, tongue-tied in the presence of all of these lovely models. It doesn't surprise me. I'm looking very much forward to February's releases. That's it from me, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Comment anything you like down below. If you like this sort of content, sub, and I'll see you in the next episode. Until then, onward, brave heroes.